Most people assume successful companies stay on top because they're smart, experienced, and listen to their customers. But the innovator's dilemma flips that idea on its head. Companies often fail because they do everything right. Clayton Christensen reveals that even market leaders can collapse when new, disruptive technologies appear, technologies they initially ignore because they seem inferior. If you've ever wondered why big companies fail, even with brilliant teams, or why startups can beat giants, this book is a must-read. Before we jump in, hit like and subscribe if you want more insights that can help you innovate, think strategically, and avoid costly mistakes. It only takes a second. The Innovator's Dilemma was written by Clayton M. Christensen, a Harvard Business School professor and one of the most influential thinkers in business strategy. The book is based on years of research studying why established companies fail when small startups with seemingly inferior technology enter the market. Christensen coined the term disruptive innovation and showed that doing what's logical for today, focusing on current customers and profitable products, can blind companies to the innovations that define tomorrow. This isn't just about business, it's about understanding how change works, predicting shifts in any field, and avoiding the trap of following conventional wisdom blindly. Number 1. Sustaining versus disruptive innovation. Christensen identifies two types of innovation. Sustaining innovation, improving existing products for current customers. Example, faster cars, more powerful computers, better cameras. Disruptive innovation, new technologies or business models that start small, seem inferior initially, but eventually surpass incumbents. Disruptive innovations often target overlooked markets or create entirely new ones. For example, early personal computers were far weaker than mainframes. But they eventually dominated because they were cheaper, accessible, and eventually good enough for most users. Are you focusing on improving what already exists, or exploring what could disrupt your industry? Even the smartest companies struggle here, which leads to the central dilemma. Number 2. Why good companies fail. The paradox, doing everything right can lead to failure. Companies fail not because they're incompetent, but because they listen to their best, most profitable customers. Invest in sustaining innovations. Avoid unprofitable, small markets. Ignore technology that seems inferior at first. Christensen calls this the innovator's dilemma. The very practices that make a company successful can prevent it from adopting disruptive innovations. For example, digital photography disrupted Kodak, even though Kodak invented the first digital camera. They ignored it because their main film customers didn't want digital cameras, and by the time the market shifted, it was too late. So how do some companies survive disruption while others fail? The next lesson explains. Number 3. The importance of small markets. Disruptive innovations often start in small, niche markets that incumbents ignore because they seem unprofitable. These markets allow startups to experiment, refine the technology, and eventually move upmarket. For example, steel mini-mills began by making low-quality steel for small customers. Over time, they improved their technology and captured mainstream customers, disrupting the giants. Ignoring small markets is a trap. Many unimportant beginnings hide the next dominant technology. Are you dismissing opportunities because they seem too small or unprofitable at first glance? Number 4. Resource dependence and customer focus. Companies naturally focus on resources, processes, and values. Christensen calls this the RPV framework. Resources, money, talent, equipment. Processes, how work gets done. Values, what decisions are considered acceptable. The problem, all of these align with existing customers and current business models. So when a disruptive innovation emerges, a company's RPV framework can prevent it from pursuing the new opportunity. For example, incumbents ignored mini-computers initially because their processes and resources were built to serve large mainframe clients. Avoiding this trap is the key to survival, but it requires thinking differently about structure and decision-making. Number 5. Embrace disruption early. Startups have a unique advantage: they can operate without existing customer pressures. Christensen suggests companies create separate divisions or teams to pursue disruptive opportunities. For example, IBM created autonomous groups to experiment with personal computers. If the team had been inside the main division, it might have been killed for low profitability. Protect disruptive projects from traditional metrics. Allow them to grow organically. Don't force them to compete with the main business too early. Reflective question. How can you experiment with new ideas without being constrained by your current priorities? Number 6. Timing matters. Don't rush, don't wait. Disruptive innovations often appear inferior at first. Companies must judge carefully. Adopt too early, resources wasted. Adopt too late, market opportunity lost. The challenge: identify the tipping point when a new technology becomes viable and strategically invest. For example, mini-computers eventually displaced mainframes because they became good enough for most businesses. Timing is critical, but predicting it isn't easy, which is why a repeatable process helps. Number 7. Innovation as a process, not a mystery. Christensen emphasizes that disruptive innovation isn't accidental. It can be systematic. Identify small markets or unserved customers. Experiment with new technologies or business models. Iterate based on learning, not assumptions. Scale when the market matures. This approach allows companies to manage uncertainty and reduce risk. How can you apply a systematic approach to innovation in your work or projects? Number 8. Case studies, real-world lessons. Christensen analyzes multiple industries. Disk drives, small startups consistently disrupted leaders by targeting overlooked markets. Steel mini mills, started with cheap products, eventually overtook giant producers. Retail and personal computers, new entrants thrived because incumbents ignored small, unprofitable markets. Key takeaway: disruption is predictable if you know what to watch for. Number 9. Practical takeaways for leaders and entrepreneurs. Separate disruptive initiatives from core business. Don't over-rely on existing customer feedback. Focus on small markets first. Measure success differently for disruptive projects. Treat innovation as a repeatable process, not luck. Where in your life, business, or career could ignoring small opportunities be holding you back? Number 1. Leaders fail when they only listen to current customers. Future opportunities often come from those being overlooked. Number 2. Protect disruptive projects from short-term metrics. Give them space to grow. Number 3. Start small, then scale. Ignore the urge to compete head-on initially. Number 4. Resources, processes, and values can be traps. Question assumptions that worked in the past. Number 5. Systematize innovation. Predictable success comes from processes, not luck. Which disruptive idea could you explore if you freed it from traditional constraints? The Innovator's Dilemma teaches that success isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about understanding why smart companies fail. By recognizing disruptive innovation, protecting new initiatives, and focusing on overlooked markets, you can stay ahead of change rather than being crushed by it. If you want to dive deeper into these groundbreaking insights, check the link in the description to grab your copy. It might save your business, career, or next big project from being disrupted. And before you go, comment below. Which disruptive opportunity are you most excited to explore?